This episode is powered by Safety FM.
The following program is rated MALSV. It contains strong language, sexual situations, and violence. It is intended only for mature audiences.
Finally, show with the balls to call it like it is. Rated R Safety Show on Safety FM.
Countdown to audio torture.
The Rated R Safety Show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Let the eardrum pain begin.
Forget the corporate bullshit. This is the Rated R Safety Show with your host, Dr. It doesn't matter who the host is.
Well, hello and welcome to an all-new Rated R Safety Show. Today's Tuesday, September the 24th, day 267 of the year. Only 98 days left before it's all over with. And we get to see 2020. Aren't you excited about it? Oh, 2020, and I'm not talking about the news show. Anyways, how have you been? Have you been having fun so far this week? We're only 2 days into the week. But hopefully it'll be over with soon if you're always looking forward to that weekend thing. Unless you're one of the individuals who's off during the week, which has to be a good thing too, depending on how you want to look at it. Anywho, I don't want to take up too much of your time, but I think that sometimes you and I should have conversations about things that occur behind the scenes. So as you are aware, we do have multiple shows here on safetyfm.live and on safetyfm.com. So we do get to do some interviews with people from time to time. But one interesting thing happened over, let's say, the last year or so, but it really came to a conclusion over the last few days. So there's a pretty well-known, we'll call him a doctor inside of the space, who was invited to come on to the Safety FM flagship show. The gentleman took about, 11 months. Oh, yes, that's 1-1. To acknowledge that we had even made an invitation for them to come on to the show. 11 months. I can understand 11 days, but 11 months. Anyways, let's continue. So finally, we're able to get the person to say that they're willing to come on. We send them the information because we have a release form that we require that all of our guests sign off on. And the guy has the audacity, and in this case for the Rated R Safety Show, I'll say he has the balls to say that we have to grant them all editorial and publication rights of the episode. Really? Really? And then they have the balls to question Safety FM's journalistic integrity in regards of the stuff that we release. Because I have been misquoted in the past in previous interviews. Well, let me tell you something. And I'm going to explain this to you directly. So take a listen. We interview people and we play it in long format. So what does that mean? You're not going to hear some chopped up edits, dude, on the interviews because we give it to you real. But this is what happens with some of the quote unquote safety professionals that are out there, that they believe that it's 1960 and that's how the way that things are done. Sorry, my friend. We're not giving you editorial rights and we're not giving you publication rights. Sorry. Come on. Are you not familiar with the fucking internet? Are you not familiar with how things are done. We have two full-time radio websites, streaming radio services, and multiple shows on safetyfm.com. I'm even offended that I have to bring this shit up. But man, talk about the old mentality. I hope things work out for you, my friend. I really do. I cannot believe that I'm even having this discussion. Anyways, I don't want to bore you too much. We're here for some entertainment, people. Let's get you started with the news here on the Rated R Safety Show.
This show is almost as enjoyable as hearing the sound of the toilet flush. Rated R Safety Show on Safety FM.
More sarcasm than a Mortal Kombat beatdown. Rated R Safety Show.
Here is the news on the Rated R Safety Show.
Well, I have to tell you, if I was a person who's traveling around the country, I might be a little afraid of going into New Orleans. New data shows that 1 in 7 adults in New Orleans have a warrant out for their arrest. Many of the 56,000 outstanding warrants in New Orleans Municipal Court, some dating back to 2002, are for missing court dates, and many of those dates related to minor or non-violent crimes. Well, shit, 56,000 fucking people, man. I would be a little afraid. Not that I'm a person of big fear, but 56,000 people. I don't know. Even close to where I go, sometimes you study on a university campus. That's more than the campus has altogether. So did you hear about this little news story that popped up? I thought it was pretty interesting on how it came about. An Indian woman gave birth to a healthy baby boy. But hold on, there's more. And twin girls with 4 legs and 3 hands. Yeah, you didn't mishear me there. Doctors say that the girls' extra parts are probably due to a weird triplet birth that became conjoined. They're optimistic that they'll be able to surgically remove the extra limbs. So 4 legs and 3 hands. Conjoined potential triplet. Sounds pretty exciting. Sounds different too. Now, I'll tell you, I've heard some movies that have some stuff like that, but I have never really heard of a true news story that has that information on it. Let's go ahead and talk about the FBI, but we'll be a little careful here. The FBI arrested an American soldier who they claim talked about his plans to blow up a major news network. Oh, yeah, you heard me, major news network. The criminal complaint says that Jarrett William Smith discussed specific about how to build a bomb out of ping pong balls with an undercover police officer in an online forum. He also shared plans to go fight for a far-right group in the Ukraine and suggested that targeting Beto O'Rourke. Oh, yeah, you know who I'm talking about there. But anyways, I thought that was pretty interesting. How crazy is some of these news stories? Let's continue. An unknown triangular object recorded by International Space Station has some online conspiracy theorists convinced that the U.S. Space Force is already on patrol. The fuzzy object captured by the ISS cameras supposedly sped up and moved out of the camera's range. Online commenters didn't point to ET, though instead they insisted it was evidence of American spaceships are circling the planet even before Space Force has been officially launched. So what do you think about that Space Force thing? Because I have to tell you, there is more and more news stories that come about the Space Center, about space in general, and we're seeing a lot more activity. And I'm not going to sit here and say, oh yeah, brother, there's a whole bunch of space shit going on, but there surely is a hell of a lot of it in the news. A more serious story from ISS. Russia says it knows what caused a very real air leak on the station in 2018, but refuses to say what. We won't tell anything, said the head of the Russian Space Agency. The leak was caused by a small hole less than 1/10 of an inch in diameter and was actually in docked Russian capsule, not the station itself. Well, what are they hiding? I would like to know. Do you know? Because I don't know. What about you, online conspiracy theorist? What do you think? Why don't you come out to the Rated R Safety Show website and let us know? That's ratedsafetyshow.com. And go ahead and leave a little message there and let us know what's going on. So did you hear about last Friday's stuff? Let's go over this real quick. Students walking out of class to protest climate change believe the world will end in 12 years, according to interviews by the College Fix. At least students at Minnesota State Olaf College do. Many said they were afraid of short-term and deadly consequences of doing nothing to stop climate change. So continuing the climate change information, I'm sure by now you've heard of a 16-year-old Swedish girl by the name of Greta Thunberg. I think it's Thunberg, but don't hold me to it. Let me kind of tell you what she did. A 16-year-old Swedish girl shamed global leaders at the UN Climate Summit on Monday. She alleged that the adults of the world are destroying the planet for money and leaving nothing for her generation but crushed dreams. How dare you, she said. She said, in a tone reminiscent of an angry young Julie Andrews in an audition. She said, "You choose to fail us. I say we will never forgive you." Look at that. Look at the guts on the 16-year-old little lady out of Sweden, standing up to the UN Climate Summit people that are there. Sometimes I wish some people had some more balls out there to say the things the way they're meant to be said. Because we want to be so politically correct on some of the shit that we're doing out there, opposed to standing up for what we believe in. Well, Greta, I appreciate what you're doing. So did you hear this information about Google? Google is bracing for a worldwide right to be forgotten ruling by the top EU court. 5 years ago, the EU Court of Justice ruled that Google had to delete links to an individual's personal information upon request. On Tuesday, the court will rule whether that right to be forgotten should apply globally. The main concerns about the links to the website that lead out of date or false information that could harm a person's reputation. But that can never be erased. This reminds me of some of the iCloud leaks that occurred a few years ago with all the porn stars, or sorry, not the porn stars, celebrities, I should say celebrities, that had leaked nude photos. I don't know if you went looking for them. I'm not saying that I did, but it's funny on how some of them got deleted from the internet. How did that happen? I think it's interesting on how it all works. Anyways, let's continue. A remote Greek island home to the crystal clear blue waters and natural springs is also thought to sustain one of the longest living populations on the planet. The 99 square mile island of, I'm going to butcher this, Akara claims to have more people who live to the age of 90 than any other place on the planet. 1 in 3 inhabitants of the picturesque island reach the age of 90, a fact that researchers are looking for its secret. So maybe it's the fountain of youth. Well, I don't know. If you're 90, is it really considered the fountain of youth? I might have screwed that shit up altogether. The fountain of youth, and I'm 90. Maybe you look younger? I don't know. What do you think? What are you thinking about? I don't know. Would you go there? Would you be interested in staying around until you're 90? I hope you have a really good retirement plan, because it's really going to have to last longer than most.
Duh.
Okay, so let's go through it real quick. Days of the year that you can celebrate today on September the 24th. Festival of the Latest Novelties. Kiss Day. Gallbladder Good Health Day. Energize Day. National Cherries Jubilee Day. National Punctuation Day. National Bluebird of Happiness Day. National Voters Registration day. Wow. I don't know. Still seems like a lot of days to be able to celebrate. But that's just my opinion. What do I know? I'm just some dude behind a microphone. Anyways, you've been listening to the Rated R Safety Show. Make sure to follow us on your favorite podcatcher if you get a chance, of course. Leave us a review or share away. Spread the love. Tell people about us, what they're missing, and if they're a safety professional, please, 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 please share it with them. They might need to hear some of this information. Anyways, I know who you are. You know who I am. Love you. Mean it. Bye.
Duh.
The views and opinions expressed on this podcast are those of the host and its guest and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of the company. Examples of analysis discussed within this podcast are only examples. They should not be utilized in the real world as the only solution available, as they are based only on very limited and dated open source information. Assumptions made within this analysis are not reflective of the position of the company. No part of this podcast may be reproduced, stored in a retrieval system, or transmitted in any form or by any means, mechanical, electronic, recording, or otherwise, without prior written permission of the creator of the podcast, Jay Allen.
This episode has been powered by Safety FM.